Anderson Cooper.
Anderson Cooper. Thank you. Hi. Wow. Good morning, Tuesday, June 30th, 2009. Regis has the day off. Anderson Cooper, 360 in the hizzy. Good morning, sunshine.
Good morning. How are you?
I've got to tell you that I have been watching you every night, and your riveting, informative, heartbreaking coverage of Michael Jackson and his death and his life.
It's unbelievable. Yeah.
It really is. And, you know, it's funny. Yesterday, Mark was sitting in your seat, and we were showing pictures of Michael on vacation and how Michael, like, now that he's 12, he doesn't want to smile in photos. No matter what, he doesn't want to appear like he's having a good time. And so, I showed these photos on, I don't know, because he's 12.
Okay.
So I was showing these photos on the air after, like, he said, Mom, you can never talk about me on the air. And I was like, well, he'll never find out. And then I was watching what Deepak Chopra was saying about how, you know, it was a childhood trauma probably that caused a lot of self-mutilation and whatever it was that was going on in Michael Jackson's life. And then I immediately went to the show yesterday and the photos, and I was like, oh my gosh.
You're causing serious irreparable harm to your child.
Did I just cause irreparable harm by showing the photos? You know what I mean? But it was very informative and very sad.
Now you're showing the photos again.
And now we're showing it again. So you're all contributing.
See, I used to look grumpy in all childhood photos because my dad took so long to focus the camera that my brother and I would just get annoyed waiting for him.
I don't. I'm very fast, but but it's, you know, it's just one of those things.
That's funny that he doesn't want to smile or anything.
He doesn't want to smile in a photo,
but he smiles in real life.
He does. He's like the That's the funny thing. It's like he is the happiest kid. Of the three. He's the happiest one.
Have you seen? There's a great photo in the paper today of Sarah Jessica Parker and Matthew Broderick.
Oh my
their
gosh,
newborn babies.
Look at their baby girls.
A week old. Congratulations to them.
Yes, congratulations.
Yeah, very nice.
And James Wilkie, the big brother.
Yes, he looks sort of mystified.
Yeah.
Pretty happy, I think.
That intrigue. I'm not sure. That intrigue will wear off really soon.
right. I think he's not sure what to make of it yet at this point. Yeah.
Well, how old is he? 6? Is he about 6, 7?
I think he's 6. Yeah. 6 years old. Yeah, 6 years old. James Wilkie. So.
Yeah. So that'll.
Did your kids, when the new ones came, did the older ones embrace them?
When Lola was born, Michael was 4 years old. So he was really sort of mystified and intrigued, and then immediately sort of went back to just ignoring her, like she wasn't there. When Joaquin was born, Lola was 16 months old. So Lola was like, I'm the baby. I'm the baby. You know, she really was the baby and wanted to be the baby and did not appreciate this new foreign thing. But now all she talks about is babies.
Really?
You know, and then she'll say, why can't you have a baby? Please have a baby sister. And then she'll say other bizarre things like, why can't you adopt me an older sister?
Wow. My brother tried to strangle me when I was newly born.
No. He did?
Yeah. Sort of set the tone.
How old were you?
I was a month.
You were probably...
Very hard to defend yourself when you're a month old, I'm told.
You couldn't find your thumbs.
Yeah,
I can't find my thumbs.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
I used my feet to defend myself. No, it wasn't pretty. But yeah, the Michael Jackson thing is just horrible. Obviously, yesterday, Catherine Jackson was awarded temporary custody of the 3 kids.
Of the kids,
There's going to be a hearing on Monday.
She knows the kids? I mean, they all... It's very hard to get
a sense of what the reality...
who knows who in that family.
Exactly. Well, then yesterday, I don't know if you all saw Joe Jackson coming out. First he came out at the BET Awards, and then yesterday he held a press conference, I guess, to clarify what he said at the BET Awards, but it just seemed to get more confusing. I don't know if anyone saw this. He basically is pitching his new record company, which just seems the oddest time to do it.
Right, you're absolutely right.
And he keeps saying, well, people keep asking about it, but nobody's asking about it.
Right.
And he's always traveling with this guy who he keeps pointing to, like we all should know who this guy in the fedora is, who's, I guess, his buddy who he has this record company with. It's the whole thing is just really...
And so, but he really once he had the press conference, none of that was clarified.
No, in fact, he tried to pitch the record company again. Like, I think the whole point of the press conference was to kind of clarify his remarks and talk about, you know, the loss and how much in pain he was. And then he pitched the record company again. I just found it very strange.
I think the most revealing part of your reporting, though, probably is when I learned that you had met Michael Jackson.
Yes, I had.
Tell us about that again.
Yes, I was 10 years old, and don't get any thoughts. I was 10 years old, and...
Listen, just let this come out.
I feel I'm in a safe place. No, my mom was dating a film director named Sidney Lumet, whom she had previously been married to. Great film director, and he directed the movie The Wiz, which Michael Jackson was in. So
which was my favorite movie as a child.
Really?
I mean, it really
you were the
was.
one.
I loved that. Yeah. I wanted to live in that Emerald City in those low-cut emerald gowns that they paraded around. They're like, it's chic to be green.
Wow, you actually remember a line from the movie The Wiz.
I have that movie on DVD, and I frequently watch it. Let's ease on down the road.
Right. So Michael Jackson was in it, Diana Ross was in it, Nipsey Russell was in it.
Of course, he was the Tin Man.
Right. And by the way, he voted for me when I was on To Tell the Truth, but that's an entirely different story. So I'm 10 years old, and it's the movie premiere, and so I get to go to the movie premiere, and afterwards, there's a party at Studio 54, which, I don't know, for you visiting New York, this was like
the nightclub.
It was like the original disco, where horrible, terrible things went on, from my understanding.
Right.
And probably a lot of fun things as well. But, so anyway, so I find myself after the movie in a car with Michael Jackson, who I actually don't even know who he is, because I'd never listened to music as a kid.
Of course
because
not.
I was raised in an Amish community. And, no. And, dancing was forbidden. So anyway, so I'm in this car with Michael Jackson. Seems perfectly nice. I don't know him. He's about 20. And girls are screaming after the car, chasing Michael, and I'm confused by this, and wondering why they're chasing the car. And then I go to Studio 54 with Michael Jackson and my mom, and Michael Jackson, all I remember is Michael Jackson dancing, and I remember turning to a friend of mine and saying, "Wow, he should do this professionally, because he's really good at this."
He's a good dancer.
Yeah, he's really good.
Right. That's
unbelievable
how much better your childhood was than mine. It really is. It's just not right.
I will say,
that's a moment I would have really appreciated. Yeah. I'd be like, I can't believe it, Michael. I would have gotten out, made a collect call from a payphone, because as we know, there's no, and I would have said, you're not going to believe this. I'm at Studio 54 with Michael Jackson from The Wiz.
Right.
We are doing what is about to become known as the moonwalk in 10 years from now, and you're not going to believe it.
Yeah, so I don't really, that's all I remember. I do remember I went to Studio 54 one other time when I was 11, and yeah. I was raised by a pack of wolves. Let's just say. No, I'm kidding. So I went with my mom and saw Grace Jones perform at Studio 54 when I was 11 years old. And all I remember about it is being terrified of her. And I remember...
Well, she should do this professionally.
In my memory, and I don't know if it's true or not, she had a whip which she made into a noose and wrapped around some guy's neck in the audience and lifted him up. Whether that's true or not, I don't know, but that's how I remember it. Yeah.
I believe that's true.
I want to believe it's true, too. If anyone can do it, Grace Jones can do it.
You know, it's so funny. I remember, I think I've told you this story before. The biggest moment of my life came in 5th grade when my mother brought home for me a pair of Gloria Vanderbilt jeans. They were green velvet. And I swear I wore them until the velvet fell off.
Green velvet.
Green velvet.
Hard to pull off green velvet, isn't it?
Well, in 5th grade, I could rock that. And it was like the biggest moment of my life. So
really?
I'm picturing your mom.
Well, you pay for my college education, so I appreciate that.
You are more than welcome. But I'm thinking about you so totally not appreciating the fact that you were at Studio 54 with your mom,
well, when that jean
Gloria Vanderbilt.
When that jean thing first came out, I remember my brother and I had this game, which was to count throughout the day how many people's derrieres we saw with my mom's name on them.
No kidding.
Yeah. My mom didn't think it was all that amusing. But, yeah.
That's really cool, though.
Yeah, it was odd. It was unusual.
Unusual.
Yeah, although it seemed normal at the time. So the other thing I noticed is, speaking about dancing, is that the what are these folks called? The Knicks City Dancers.
Yes.
Where I've been auditioning. for new Nick City dancers, and I'm told that you actually auditioned.
Yes, I did.
And I think we actually even have a clip of that.
We did.
I'm sure we did.
Yeah, look at that, shall we?
We don't do anything.
Wow. Which one are you? Oh, there you are. Wow. Very nice. Whoa. That's great.
I'm the small giddy boy in the front. Men should never wear shiny lycra spandex. It really is.
No, you did very well.
Thank you very much.
You look like a 70s superhero, sort of.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
It's one of those moments where, so they say, okay, we're going to do, it's Regis and Kelly Do It Week. So we want to see you, and I'm
really?
like,
That was the name?
They want us to do it with each other or with other people?
Did anyone get the double entendre?
Right, no.
Did no one think about that?
So we decide that we're going to do it. And so somebody
that was their late night show.
They want to see if we can, do various stunts throughout the city, and mine was to dance with the Nick City dancers. And I was like, oh, sure, that'll be great. I was a cheerleader in high school, and I know how to move, and I'm thinking back to high school in New Jersey in the 80s, pom-poms, cheerleading costumes, it's going to be like that. This was like, I was crunking, I was hip-hopping, I hurt myself, I was like, I am too old to crunk.
Wow, you crunk now?
I mean, whatever that was. I'm not sure what that was. But it was not ballet, it was not jazz.
It was
None of my dance training as a child came in handy. I cannot believe that you were at Studio 54 with Michael Jackson and you didn't.
And my mom.
And you didn't dance, right? You didn't dance.
I did not dance. No, I did not dance.
Of course not. Why would
you
dance?
I was 10 years old. I didn't know how to dance then. Later on, I enjoyed the dancing. I just don't want to dance on TV. There's no point.
There's every point.
There's no point at all.
There is every point.
So you took dance classes?
If you dance with me
We're
right
not going
now,
down this
I
road,
will give you $40.
Wow. You know what?
I can guarantee you, Art Moore will kick in 10 and we will make it $50.
I work in basic cable, so you are talking about my kind of money here. Yeah. I don't have this big network money that you guys have here.
That's right. Look at this lavishness.
So you took dance classes when you were a kid?
Yeah, I did.
Really?
Yeah.
For how long?
For 12, 14 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Because you wanted to be, even from the time you were a little kid, you knew you wanted to be a
talk show host. Yeah, no, it's very ironic that you have to understand the way I grew up. Like, my father would constantly tell us to stop talking, and he was like, children should be seen and not heard. You're always talking. Stop talking. What do you think you're going to do? Talk for a living when you grow up? I might talk for a living when I grow up.
The other good news, I guess, and I think we can say it's good news. Bernie Madoff sentenced to 150 years.
150 years. Yeah. I have to say that I wish that it would bring more sort of.
Well, that's the thing.
His victims will never recover. They lost everything. And
he made a statement in court yesterday, and he talked about his terrible mistake, which it seems just kind of disingenuous.
Right.
And also, he never cooperated with authorities. It's not as if he was helping authorities track down the money. He didn't talk about anybody else who was involved in this.
Correct.
And there must have been other people involved in this.
Well, so his victims were saying on the news last night, on your program, that there's got to be money in offshore accounts somewhere that he knows about, and that can help
his wife, Ruth Madoff, is giving up $65 million or somewhere around the neighborhood of $60 million. She's going to be allowed to keep $2.5 million, I guess, in cash. Why she gets to keep that, I'm not exactly sure, but I guess that's the deal. And she has finally made a statement, which just seems kind of late.
What did she say?
Well, she says that she's kind of portraying herself as a victim, trying to kind of side with the victims, basically saying she feels betrayed and confused by the man that she married, and she had no idea what was going on.
Do you believe her?
I don't know.
Have you spoken to her?
No, she hasn't spoken to anybody. But I mean, she worked in the firm, albeit in a different section of the firm. I just find it hard to believe that this one guy pulled off this massive con over the course of
over everyone
20 or 30
there.
years.
I mean, he had to be working with other people.
You would think. You would think other people had to be involved. 2 people I know are cooperating with authorities who work for the firm. One, his accountant, and someone else. So
and then will they receive, like, immunity?
They will probably receive some sort of reduced sentence or reduced, you know, they'll have to plead that. They'll have to make some sort of plea agreement. But the key is to try to find out who else, if anyone, was in fact involved. So we'll see. The other article I saw, which I got to say, you know, I every time I'm on this program, I sort of complain about airlines, and there's a lot of great people who work for the airlines, and they're hardworking, and I feel for them, and I always feel for the people at the counters who get yelled at all day long.
It seems like Anderson has to take a flight soon.
I'm actually taking a flight in about 3 hours,
right,
so,
there you go.
So I'm covering my bases here. But don't you feel sorry for the people at the check-in counter, because people yell at them, and you know it's not effective to yell at people at the check-in counter. People who get yelled at all day long, it's like yelling at a traffic police officer. It's just not a good idea.
Right.
It just, you know, they're immune to it.
People are so, I think people when they fly are so nervous
stressed
anyway.
out.
They are stressed out. Your stress is at your highest level. And then you get there, and of course, there's the long line. And the person in front of you is booking a flight to Toledo 6 months from now, and they want the best possible deal. And you go, please go home and do this from the phone so I can get to my gate eventually today, because my flight's taking off in 5 minutes.
So last time I was on, I was complaining about leg room, and we had a survey which showed, I think JetBlue had the most leg room. Everyone else had a couple of inches less. So now, a new horrible idea. A Chinese airline wants to sell cut-rate standing room only tickets. As if it could not get any worse.
I actually like that idea.
Spring Airlines said he's consulted with Airbus, the company that built most of its planes, and was sure the standees would be safe. Oh, that makes me feel better.
Yeah, right. What kind of a seatbelt is that going to be? It's going to be like a shoulder strap, like in a roller coaster.
Gradually fall asleep and pass out.
I actually like that idea, and I'll tell you why. Whenever I fly, my feet always get swollen, and I'm convinced it's because I'm being forced to sit down for so long.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, you're allowed to stand and walk around every now and then.
I know, but they
discourage that
they're like, please remain seated with your seatbelt fastened as long as you see that red light with the fasten seatbelt sign, which always seems to be on, doesn't it?
Okay, the other thing that bothers me, and I'll just say this quickly, is, and you know, there's a lot of great pilots out there, and God bless them, but they talk. Have you noticed pilots who talk and talk and talk? Because really on an airline, at least what I want to do is go to sleep. But there's pilots who involve you in every aspect of their job, and I'm sure their job is interesting, but I really don't want to hear about it. Like, I'm actually paying for sort of quiet and just somebody to efficiently, you know, fly the plane. When the pilot does this, it drives me nuts. The pilot's like, tells the entire route that you're going to take, like, and then we'll be flying over the...
No, they always start with, well, folks. Well, folks.
right.
Well, folks. Always.
And then they stop for a while.
Yeah.
And then they continue on. And then over Pennsylvania, we'll be flying past the Allegheny Mountains. Yeah. And then you think it's done, then be like, then we'll be vectoring at 5-9. You're like, It's very, that upsets me. But I'm a cranky flyer, what can I say?
Well, I can't, I wish I was flying with you today to see the treatment you received. It's going to be like a ticker tape rate. Oh, good, Anderson Cooper's here, everybody.
Do you have enough leg room?
No extra pretzels for you, Anderson. We have extra pretzels for everyone else.
I have nothing but respect for the people who work for the airlines, and I feel for them because it's a tough business, and these are tough economic times.
You are absolutely right.
All right.
Before we get to today's show, I know that you're into this as much as I am, and on Thursday's show, the Real Housewives of New Jersey are going to be right here.
Yes.
That's right.
Four of them.
Caroline, Dina, Jacqueline, and Teresa will be on.
All I can say is batten down the furniture.
Batten down the furniture. Listen, I don't mind a table flip. Table flip is part of
the table flip was in the reunion episode. Yeah. quite a reunion episode. Yeah.
Anyway, on today's show, Sean William Scott is here.
His new movie is I Saved John and the Dinosaurs. Also, Christina DeBarge will sing her hit song Goodbye.
Yes.
Christina DeBarge. She's amazing talent. She's going to be opening for Britney Spears.
I know. And guess what? Anderson Cooper is going to dance with her today, right here live. If he wants $50, he will. We continued Star Spangled Savings Week with 4th of July Star Spangled Savings 4th of July Entertaining Week, because we had to make the title as long as possible.
It just rolls off the tongue, though.
It really
nice.
does.
Yeah.
This is tips for last-minute, budget-friendly food from Real Simple Magazine. I love this magazine. Do you subscribe? I love this magazine so much.
No, I'm sure it's a great magazine. I just don't know how to cook. I should, because it's real simple.
Let me show you. This is. You don't have to know how to cook.
That's pizza. I know how to make that.
So say you're going to have a cocktail party, right? A party for the 4th of July. You want people to think you put a lot of time and energy, and you had like a fancy caterer come, right? So you take a pizza, a store-bought pizza.
Right.
You're from your favorite pizza joint, so you know it's delicious, right? And you take a cookie cutter, and you cookie cut out little rounds so people can have pizza rounds, just like lickety-split.
Yeah, how's that working out there, Fred?
It was crispy once.
Yeah.
It's delicious. Anyway,
well, look, here's the after.
This is what we're after.
All right.
There
Look at that. Look at it.
Wow. I want to go to a party at your house.
No, you don't know the horrors. This is, I'm sure, delicious and probably much better when professional.
No, but what's cool in this magazine, which we're going to have on the show, is it's very simple ideas for basically store-bought items or takeout food to dress it up and make it look as if you've prepared it yourself.
Correct.
There you go.
Yeah, you know what? You should have a news program.
It's a great idea.
You're very informative.
Thank you very much.
Dance for me now. Dance for me right now.
Yeah, right.
Dance for me. Please dance for me.
You know what it's time for?
I don't want to hear it. I want you to dance.
It's time for live snapshot, wake-up calls, travel.